Hi guys, it's Colette. Welcome back to my channel. I've been asked to do a short video on grounding and how I ground myself, especially, when I was working day to day as a clairvoyant and healer. So this is, I've taken some notes, how to ground yourself and why. Let's go for the why first, okay? You have a gift. That gift can be used at an optimum level and sort of looked after, or it can be spread thin and maybe not so potent. So one of the reasons to ground yourself is literally to keep yourself at a level that you're not completely open when it's not appropriate to be so. Now, I've a lot of you that say that you're healers, empaths, clairsentients, all the clairs, clairvoyants, mediums, or whatever. Now, if you were wandering about all the time without grounding yourself, you'd probably go mad, and also other people would think you were mad. So it's important that you ground yourself. If you do some work, if you do some meditation, if you do some healing, that you do ground yourself. Not just for yourself, but you can be a danger to others. And a lot of people don't say that, but I'm going to give an experience I had. I'm quite good at ignoring grounding, or I was at times. I'll say, oh, I need to do this, I'll not do it completely, and I'll do a quick shutdown and that's it. So anyway, if you're gifted, it's your responsibility to have that gift nurtured. And it would not be nurtured if it were open all the time. It would not be nurtured if you weren't grounded at the times that you need to be grounded. So one example of me as a clairvoyant or empath was that I had been doing readings on a Saturday morning through to Saturday afternoon in my premises in Hamilton. Those of you remember it, the spooky one up the spiral staircase. And I was in a rush to get home for my girls and to put dinner on, etc. So I kind of sort of did a wee bit of grounding and went out and went straight to Asda, which is Walmart in the States, and started pushing my trolley around on a Saturday afternoon, and it was mobbed. And before I knew it, the energies were they were crippling me. A man walked by and he was angry at something and it just hit me. Another woman was getting quite upset with her children and it was going through me. There's a few people that passed that I didn't like their energies, but normally that wouldn't have bothered me, but I was so still open and not grounded. So it's important that you understand that that was actually difficult for me. I actually had to leave my trolley where it was, go outside and do a bit of grounding and come back in and get the trolley again. So there's one aspect that really disrupted my day, because after doing my clairvoyant readings, I hadn't settled down and given it the time to ground myself again. Now, another one, which I kind of I'm quite embarrassed about now, because it could have been hurtful to someone, but I'm going to share it with you because I think it's important that we are honest, particularly myself who's retired now. I've got lots of experience to pass on, but this was a night time where I'd done a few clients, and we actually were short of some shopping, and there's a kind of there's a garage that sells milk and bread and everything about 6 miles away along some country roads, and it's open till 11 o'clock. So I'd done a few clients and it was about 20 past 10, and I thought, I can't get up in the morning and get these before people need them and blah blah blah. So right, we're going to the shop, and instead of taking my 10-15 minutes to ground myself after the readings, I did a wee bit get in my car and started driving along the country roads. Now, they're all kind of single track roads until you're nearer the other little village. And I felt okay. I felt a wee bit spacey, but I felt okay. And we were coming down to a bit where the road went into 2 lanes, not just one. And as I come over the sort of hump in front of me, further on, I saw a man standing at the side of the road, and he appeared to be carrying like a coal bag, like a bag of coal, big heavy bag of coal, because he was quite bent over. And as I come down, he kind of looked and then walked straight into the middle of the road, literally as I come over. Now, I immediately cried out, did an emergency stop, and thankfully, when I looked up, it didn't appear that I'd hit him. And the reason was because he wasn't there. He was a spirit. I turned to my husband, who was in the car, and said, did I hit him? Is he okay? And he kind of knew what had happened, and he was like, there wasn't anybody physical, Colette. Now, if I'd have been shut down, I wouldn't have seen that spirit walk into the middle of the road. If I had a car behind me, it might have been in the back of me. That's not good, folks. It's really not good, and I'm quite ashamed of not taking that extra 10 minutes all to get up for some bread and milk and maybe sweeties. No, it's not good enough. So do know that you could be detrimental to yourself and others. And I mean, it was as clear as day. He literally looked at me. Well, I didn't think he was necessarily looking at me. He was almost looking to see if there was a car coming or something coming, and then he went across the road. If he had have been a real person, he would have been hit. I don't think my emergency stop was that good, but thank goodness it was a spirit. Now, normally when I go along that road, I'm pretty grounded, but I wasn't that night. So that was no good. So anyway, that's a couple of my experiences. There's a few videos that I've seen a few comments on that people quote the time where I actually get into the actual techniques themselves, meaning you talk too much, but it is what it is. It's my channel after all. I can talk all I like. Anyway, grounding. So remember also, if you are not grounding yourself properly, you can start to become a bit exhausted as well. And when you're exhausted, you're kind of open to, things like depression, anxiety, feeling too much, all sorts of things. And it also can attract more negative energy round about you. I always believe chaos begets chaos, so it's better not to kind of step into chaos in the first place. So honour your gift. Make sure that when you use it to its optimum, and then honour it and close it down and ground yourself. Now, techniques I use basically when I was, reading or doing healing, and even with the mediumship, I always say a prayer of opening and, welcome or ask for anybody to come in that needs to come in, and I honour my goddess and I honour White Storm and blah, blah, blah. Well, at the end, I almost go through that backwards, if you see what I mean. It's almost like rolling it open, rolling it back, and that's kind of closing down, and it's the start of my grounding. While I'm doing that, any crystals that are very open crystals, or any scents that are, maybe lavender, or that are very kind of easy ones, get moved to the side. And as I'm saying my prayers to close down, I do like sniffing a bit of rosemary herb. I grow it in my garden, but you can get it fresh, and then you can dry it yourself if you want to from the supermarket. Rosemary really brings your your sort of consciousness straight back on. It wakens your brain as such. So in itself, it's not doing the big sort of earthy grounding, but it's taking your the balance away from subconscious back to conscious. So I do like rosemary to sniff. As I'm doing that as well, if I feel I'm not getting there quickly enough, I will maybe put on a citrus candle. As I say, nothing that's very gentle and sleepy and whatever. A citrus candle, some bergamot, some sweet orange, some lime, and that in itself starts bringing you back to the consciousness and helps ground. Now, also, I would have my, I was going to say my feet off there, but I'd have my shoes off and bare feet into the carpet or the floor. And while sort of doing this, you know, it's almost, I'm trying to split it, but I tend to do it as a blancmange of things, if you know what I mean. They're all kind of happening together. So I would really push my feet into the carpet. And in doing that, you actually can feel a shift and you actually sit up. And as you do that, I imagine roots going right down into the ground and really, really holding me solidly, anchoring me back to the earth, grounding me. And that is really just one of the best things you can do. And you can look up any grounding exercises and you know, you'll see there's a lot of meditations for really putting your feet down. I also feel that using a sort of denser sort of grounding crystal like black tourmaline, black obsidian, black agate, hematite, holding them can help you. And if you're feeling you're not getting the foot thing, put a couple of black crystals on your feet, and you'll certainly feel the pull down from those crystals. Try it. You might be surprised. If you feel that you can't do this grounding roots thing, get 2 black healing crystals and sit them on top of your feet just above your toes, and believe me, you'll feel yourself be grounded. Now, the other things I would do to complete the process would be to, you know, close down the various bits, put the tarot cards by, make it a process of this is it going by, this is me coming away from being all over the place. Then then I would normally go and literally bare feet outside, if I could. Obviously, if I was a person's house or I was doing an event, not necessarily possible, but if I could, I would just go and be in the garden a little while, feet in the grass, even if it was wet. Wet was even better. And the other thing would be to eat, because you really want your system to be denser as such. You want to be more attached to the ground than the ether as such. So a kind of carbohydrate kick is good, and that's maybe why a lot of clairvoyants and mediums are not very slight in weight, put it that way, because one of the best things you can do, well, one of the easiest things you can do if you want to ground is actually eat something stodgy. And again, there's another thing I would probably say, look at that the other way. Whenever I was reading professionally, I wouldn't eat for about 2 hours before it anyway, because you don't want that you don't want your tummy and everything doing its work while you're trying to be up here. So you know, having an empty stomach or fasting is fantastic for when you're doing healing and readings, and the opposite when you want to ground yourself. A bit of stodge, pasta, cake or whatever is really good as well. So let's see, you can also spray some perfume. you can clap or laugh, or you can dance, but a real, like, Despacito dance, feet bounding down. It's not really got to be a sort of very beautiful honouring dance. It's like clapping and really, I suppose, getting down and dirty, you would say, but that kind of real solid beat dance. Now, for all of you that have got bones like me, go easy with that one. I don't want to be blamed for anyone for broken bones, but you know what I mean. Rather than a sway shamanic dance to open up, it's more of a kind of grounding, stamp your feet dance, clap. What else have I got? Black obsidian, hematite marble as well. So you see, it's kind of a mishmash for me. I mean, I sometimes think, I should make like bullet points and stuff and stick to but I'm telling you how I did it and how I do it. And that's just the way it is. So I hope you can take something from this and make it work for yourself. And always remember, if you are in a supermarket or something and you're getting waves of anxiety, or you're really, really feeling as though your head's up there and you're projecting or whatever, remember grounding. Get your feet into the ground. Do something. Even if it's putting your hand in the freezer, but to try and bring you sharply to earth or whatever. Don't just think, I'm a wee bit anxious. It could be that you've simply not grounded after you've done some spiritual work. And remember, if you are mediumistic, it's important that you don't wander about and you don't drive without being thoroughly grounded, or you could cause an accident, to be honest, and we don't want that. We're here to spread love and compassion and give and heal and do what we can for other people. We're not here to be so arrogant or egotistic about our art that we don't see the negative and how it can cause problems. And I'm guilty of that, as I told you about the spirit thing. Do you want to come up and maybe say Nellie's had she's had a nice wee shave because she was all sticky and messy, weren't you? Yeah. You want to say hello? Yeah. Anyway, go settle. So I hope you've enjoyed that. It's been a bit of a rambling one, but there we go. And if you have other things to add, would you put them in the comments below? Because I'd love to hear other people, what you do to ground yourself in a day-to-day basis, or specifically after you've done a healing session or whatever. The more the merrier, the more that we can all add on, the more we can learn, and the better we can be. So I hope you've enjoyed that wee grounding video. And if you've other things that you would like me to do, you can put them in the comments and I'll add them to my list. If I have the expertise or the knowledge to do them, I certainly will get through them at one point. As many blessings now. Take care and remember to ground yourselves.